Hey Most Amazing Top 10 family, I'm your host Chadarana and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Throughout history there have been a bunch of shiny objects that look like they are so pretty you want to take them home, but once you touch them they will leave a curse on you, or there will be a ghost attached to them, or they will give you some sort of great power. For whatever reason they have been lost to humanity and have never been found. I did some digging throughout mythology, history, and just some tall tales to put together today's list of top 10 lost paranormal artifacts. Stick around for the whole list because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. And if any of you at home have a craving for more Most Amazing Top 10 content, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We are starting to do Facebook exclusive content that you won't want to miss. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10 we have the CINTAMANI stone. This is like a genie lamp, but way better. There are no limits to the amount of wishes you can pull out of this thing. The CINTAMANI stone is said to be an artifact of great power that will grant wishes to the person who holds it. The original owner and wielder of this power was the Buddha, which in a way is a perfect match because you know he's not going to do anything evil with it, but it also seems like kind of a waste. Like a dude who has no need for material possessions has the power to wish for anything? Like what are you going to ask for, dude? The stone has been depicted through many Southeast Asian cultures like Hinduism, and some people think that the stone could be the equivalent to the Philosopher's Stone, giving the owner health and potentially immortal life. Now I understand why Indiana Jones is always digging around for these things. This sounds like it would be a pretty good time. At number 9 we have Ark of the Covenant, a big old box that has some of the most sacred religious texts hidden inside them. This is considered one of the biggest lost artifacts in human history. The Ark of the Covenant is supposed to hold the original tablets of the 10 Commandments. The Word of God is chiseled into the stone about how you should live your life, and there's some pretty good rules on them. Like don't covet your neighbor's ox. Dude, if it wasn't for those tablets, I would be stealing oxes left, right, and center. I would be known as the North American ox thief, and I would have a stockpile of oxes that would take the world by storm. But thanks to the Babylonians conquering Jerusalem, the Ark was lost, and we have no idea where those texts are now. What would happen if we found them? Well, if we continue to follow the Indiana Jones rules, it would be something like this. Heads just exploding all over the place. At number 8 we have the 7 League Boots. If you really went digging around in these old artifacts, you could pull up some pretty cool stuff and become a superhero that has all these trinkets all over them. You would look stylish and you could save the day, and that's the best way to do it, looking good while you're saving the day. Oh my god, great. The 7 League Boots would be such a hot look that Nike would come up with their own version. The 7 League Boots are supposed to give the person wearing them the ability to travel 7 leagues in a single step. That's good, but nobody knows how long 7 leagues is. Are you kidding me? I am actually just kidding you guys. It's like 5 kilometers. This is a very good power. You could travel on such a small budget. You wouldn't have to worry about buying plane tickets. You could just run as far as you want and end up in a new country, and then maybe like put something in the bottom so you could step on water, so you could like run across the ocean and go to Europe. That would be great. Or come over here, however you want to do it. At number 7 we have the Staff of the Monkey King. If you have never read the book Journey to the West, then you need to get on that now. It is the foundation of most modern storytelling. Dragon Ball took so much from this book that's hard not to see the direct comparison. The book takes from ancient Chinese tales, and one of the main characters is the Monkey King. He has a magical staff that has the ability to stretch great distance or even shrink down to the size of a pin. It has a great weapon for whooping someone from a distance. It could stretch out and slap them in the face and then shrink down and be like, hey, that wasn't even me. I didn't even do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. At number 6 we have the Helm of Invisibility. Greek mythology has a ton of magical artifacts that have been lost to man. Maybe some of them never existed, or maybe some of them were destroyed, or maybe some of them are in a giant vault underneath the White House and every president gets to just have fun with them and put them on. That would be so unfair. Well, the Helm of Invisibility is one of the main weapons in the arsenal of the great hero Perseus. He was the dude sent on one of the original fetch quests. One of the items he needed was the head of the Gorgon queen Medusa, but anyone who looks at her gets turned to stone. So Perseus put on the Helm of Invisibility so he could get close enough to her to cut her head off, and guess what? It worked. So this thing doesn't only let you turn invisible, but it also withstands the horrible gaze of a bloodthirsty Gorgon. This is a 2-for-1. Number 5 we have Excalibur, the sword and the stone that is one of the most powerful weapons known to man. Well, in its time when people were writing about this magical weapon, like this is before nukes. Like I don't know if the sword can beat a nuke, I don't know. But it's said that the person who has this sword is the true King of England and part of the royal bloodline. In some depictions, the sword has some sort of magical powers. There have been all sorts of powers attached to this blade, but some of the more popular abilities is the ability to cut through any stone in a single swipe. The power to kill anything, and I mean anything. Like it could be a magical creature, supernatural creature, cosmic. You could kill anything with the sword. In theory, the blade could cut through Cthulhu. That's pretty nuts. But one of the most important abilities is the person wielding the sword can recover from any wounds. We are building a very powerful arsenal of magical weapons on this list. At number 4 we have the Club of Dagda. This is the weapon of a god that could bring almost any change he wanted. Dagda is a Celtic god, and he was the representation of male strength, and he had control of almost every aspect of life. He could kill anything he wanted and then bring it back to life. He could control time, weather, and even bring great famine or plentiful harvest. This dude would give Thor a run for his money. A fight between these two would be a pay-per-view I would definitely pay for. I wouldn't just steal it from a streaming site, like I'd actually give them my money. This club is said to be the item that holds the key to life and death, with the blunt end sending people to the grave, but then the handle being able to resurrect them. At number 3 we have the Cup of JAMSHID. Pulled from Persian mythology, it's said that the potion that lays inside this cup brings the person who drinks it immortality. Some people believe that the most successful conquests of the Persian Empire came from someone who had this cup in their possession in secret, and the cup wouldn't only give you the ability to live forever, but also anyone who looked into it would see through all space. You could see all over the world and through the 7 heavens. You would get true sight, and you could also live forever. You would become the smartest person who has ever lived. At number 2 we have the Book of Thoth. The ancient Egyptians had a rich mythology that we don't often see represented in film and television, but throughout it there were some godly weapons. The Book of Thoth was written by the god of knowledge himself. He gave the book to humanity in a way to enrich their lives. It would teach the reader how to communicate with anything. They would be able to talk to animals, insects, humans, and even the gods themselves. But it is a human way to misuse things, so Thoth put a curse on the book. Prince Neferkaptah was in possession of the book, but it cursed him and all of his closest family members to die. Later, he was buried with this treasure. At number 1 we have the Spear of Destiny. Now, one of the most powerful weapons in the Bible, and if the stories are true, it would make sense that this thing is supercharged with godly abilities. The Spear of Destiny is said to be the spear that sent Jesus to the grave. If you kill the Son of God, there are going to be some ripple effects. Some of Jesus' godly power leaked onto the spear. This supercharged it, and it gave the person holding it the ability to move the world in any direction they see fit. There are rumors throughout history that great rulers were in possession of this spear. Some say Genghis Khan had it in his conquest, and that's how he was able to take over so much of the world. Other people believe that Hitler found the spear right before he launched his attacks on Europe. The idea of Hitler having the spear does hold a little bit of water because he was someone who was very interested in magical artifacts. He would send out task force in search of some of the world's lost mythical items to give him power, and maybe it was the spear that gave him guidance to take over a lot of Europe. Alright everyone, that is our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and as promised I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day. If you don't get picked one day, message back another day. You can message me as many times as you want, and without taking any longer, let's count down some pets. Starting off, we have Jojo. This is a cute little rat boy doing his little thing. I love him. Then we got Oliver. Is there anything better than looking at a puppy? I don't think so. Next we have Miley. You can tell this dude was just chilling, and then the photo was taken and he was like, seriously? Like, I'm not in the mood. After that we have Freya. Guitar Cat? That's all I really have to say. Guitar Cat. That's amazing. Then we have Maui. Oh, he's a big chunk with a floppy face. I love it. He's my favorite. And finally, we have Chunky. This little dude is living up to his name. I love it. Alright everyone, that is our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been Chaderana, and I gotta get my hands on some of these artifacts, man. I want superpowers. Bye.